the next question, climate change and distribution patterns of global diseases and health problems. This I am asking keeping COVID in mind. तो शायद डायरेक्टली कोविड ना पूछे, बट हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम्स तो पूछ ही सकता है इन जनरल. हाउ इज हेल्थ रिलेटेड टू क्लाइमेट एंड हाउ हेल्थ इज रिलेटेड टू क्लाइमेट चेंज. नाउ आंसर में सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है दैट हेल्थ हैज मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली रेफरेंस टू फिजिकल हेल्थ. जब मैं हेल्थ बोलते हैं, हेल्थ के अलग अलग डायमेंशंस हैं, ठीक है. एक मेंटल हेल्थ है, spiritual health hai, okay, physical health hai, physiology. Health has most importantly a reference to physical health and functioning physiology of human body. That is, life processes of human body are related to the physical and environmental conditions. Changes in the environmental conditions can be tolerated to some extent, but as a species, the human species has relatively narrow range of tolerance. So health ka most important reference hai physical health. The physical health is the most important reference, and it refers to the functioning of the physiology of human body, how the human body works. Life processes of human body are related to physical and environmental conditions. There is a strong environmental determinism in appreciating, okay, the relationship between human body and environment. Then I'm saying change in environmental conditions can be tolerated to some extent. Kuch had tak we can tolerate, but as a human species, we have a relatively narrow range of tolerance. But the advantage is that we as a human species are also capable of modifying our environment. Remember this point. But because of our ability to modify environment, our tolerance range is artificially widened. But our ability to modify, make houses, air condition, urban setting, we can grow our food and the rest. The range is artificially widened. Long-term changes to environment, however, can impact health. Long-term change environment can impact human health. Now, you probably can draw a world map, North America, South America, okay, Eurasia, Africa, Australia. So आप एक global pattern दिखा सकते हो कहां पर क्या health issues हैं. जैसे South America में the common health issue includes what's called as yellow fever. यहाँ पर है yellow fever. In parts of Africa भी है yellow fever. In Western Africa, we have the problem of Ebola virus. Good parts of Southern Africa में AIDS is predominant. Okay. In parts of Europe, okay, खासकर in the springs, we have a problem called as hay fever. जो North America में भी in the spring and in the pollen season, we have a problem called as hay fever. Middle East में we have MERS, Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. South Asia ये वाले part में we have, okay, malaria, filaria, cholera, even leprosy. Leprosy in parts bacterial है. Parts of Southeast में SARS has been important. SARS, Southeast Asia, SARS or MERS. Okay, so pick up some diseases to show a pattern in how, okay, the problem is a problem across. Okay, जैसे कि अफ्रीका में एक और problem है, it's called as Rift Valley fever. अच्छा, अफ्रीका में in the parts of Congo we also have what's called Congo and Savannah. Congo and Savannah में, we also have a problem called as sleeping sickness. Sleeping sickness caused by a fly called as tsetse fly. Sleeping sickness by a fly called as tsetse, Tsetse, tsetse fly. Then in parts of Australia, यहाँ पर largely जो health problems हैं, they are transmitted by the colonial settlers and because of migration. So endemic problems of Australia not as much. जो problems हुए हैं because of, in fact, the Latin American population भी जो यहाँ पर settle किया है, syphilis एक type का बीमारी है, okay, syphilis. This is one type of a health problem which has been spread from Europe towards Americas and also towards parts of Australia. Australia में we do have problem because of its polar location. Yes, ये आप add कर सकते हो. But वो तो general problem है as a part of the high latitudes. Skin cancer because of lesser amount of melanin and exposure to the radiation. So if I make a list on this, ये map में डाल देना. Like if I make a list here, आप list add कर देना. So list is yellow fever, एक type का viral ही है. Yellow fever in South America, yellow fever in Africa. Then I said sleeping sickness, okay, because of tsetse fly. This happens in parts of Congo and parts of the Savannah. We have the Ebola. This is West Africa में, okay, Sierra Leone, Gulf of Guinea and the rest. The fourth is hay fever. Hay fever typical of the mid latitudes during the spring season related to pollen. We have MERS, MERS, MERS. ये Middle East में है. You know about SAR, ये Southeast Asia and East Asia है. SAR syndrome. South Asia में malaria, cholera, filaria. This is typical of areas which are humid and which are warm. Humid and warm. इसके अलावा we have in areas of a problem called as Lyme disease. This is common in areas of tropical deforestation. Yes, malaria is also a feature of Africa also. Nigeria वगैरह में. TB also, yes, can add TB also here. TB is also tropical. Cholera, filaria. Venezuela में एक Venezuelan fever, again Venezuela. Yes, Kala Azar is South Asia, absolutely correct. So Kala Azar in South Asia. So बेटा है तो बहुत सारे list, but ये 4-5 problems में ना make a world map. ठीक है? And you can also add here transmitted diseases because of migration by the Western settlers or West European transmitted diseases because of migration by the West European settlers. So say this much. उसके बाद क्या करना है? Okay, you start discussion towards how does climate affect diseases. Now इसका 3 relationship है. That climate is responsible for the pathogens. It is responsible for vectors and transmission and responsible for environment related problems. ये 3 ways हैं how climate impacts health. Climate impacts pathogens. Pathogens are those microbes, microorganisms, viruses, bacteria. Okay, pathogens. Second are vectors, the transmission, like बहुत important common vector mosquito है, lot of bugs. Okay, and you know about bats can also be vectors which transmit. And third are the environment related problems. Environment related problems का मतलब है problems related to heat wave, problems related to cold wave, problems related to humidity, like humidity can cause problems of breathing, respiratory problems. Heat waves, okay, can cause sunstrokes. So environmental related problems. Okay, yes, environment problems में floods के साथ जो आता है and so on. Now I can depict this through a schematic. आप ये schematic ले लो please. We have the pathogen, we have the vectors, plus we have the environment. This impacts diseases. Then we have elements of climate change related to temperature, precipitation, humidity, wind and dust. So climate change can impact these. These can impact diseases. Diseases, यहाँ पर humans हैं. Diseases impact human, and humans can also adapt. Humans can cause climate change, and climate change can also impact. So this is more or less the relationship between health problems and climate. And climate change के elements क्या हैं? Temperature, precipitation, humidity, wind and dust. They impact climate change, which in turn impacts pathogen, vectors, environmental change. This can cause diseases which humans impact. Humans can get impacted, humans can adapt, and climate change से भी relationship है. यहाँ भी relationship है. Directly climate change can impact man and back again. So this is your relationship of climate change and health issues. Climate change and health issues. Then you can move on and discuss the human responses. Human responses, okay, one is adaptation, second is prevention and cure. Adaptations में we can have short-term bodily changes and we can have long-term adaptations, including part of evolution. Human responses में एक adaptations, short-term bodily changes like tanning of the skin. Okay, you start shivering when it's cold. ये short-term है. It's very, very hot. Okay, your skin can become red when exposed to heat. Okay, these are short-term change. Long-term changes, your body can start evolving in a different way. इसका best example है, I think I've told this to you, is the development of sickle cell anemia का resistance में. ठीक है, the cell structures change. You develop natural immunities. और एक है prevention and cure. ये तो आपका medical intervention हो गया. And prevention में, of course, you have the social and lifestyle changes. Okay? So ऐसे human responses क्या हैं? Human responses include adaptation, short-term bodily changes. ये short-term bodily changes में आ जाएगा आपका, okay, tanning, temporary tanning, your skin becomes darker. Okay, shivering, your skin inflammation. These are short-term changes. Long-term adaptations may they become part of evolution. Okay, your cell structure can change and human body can develop natural immunity. Have you heard about what they talk as herd immunity? ये काफी news में है, right? Herd immunity. In time, your body adapts, develop those antibodies, and you end up having natural immunity. Sickle cell, इसमें ना cell becomes constricted. Basically, उसमें होता क्या है? The cell is not able to absorb enough oxygen because of local factors, and ultimately they end up having cells which structures have changed. Long term ऐसे कि hill area adaptations. Okay, hill area people, they have the capacity of absorbing more oxygen. The lungs are stronger, the torso, chest are stronger. They can absorb more oxygen. Yes, it's something like acclimatization will be short term. Long term changes में Okay, your body structures will change. Yes, sickle cell will block the flow. Yes, तो उसका adaptations में the body is able to adjust to that. ठीक है, but इसमें ज़्यादा research नहीं करना है. Good, nice, short answer. What is the pattern of illness? कहाँ पर क्या होता है? And how does the body probably adapt to it, react to it, and so on. And prevention का part है. I said changes in lifestyle, social life. इसमें nutrition भी आ जाएगा. In the prevention part, changes in social and lifestyle. Social and lifestyle. Yes, social distancing is one example of prevention. और उसमें आप nutrition भी add कर देना. This takes care of prevention. Okay, and our conclusion will move towards climatic elements. Climatic elements of rainfall and temperature are the most important reasons for growth and spread of pathogens and activation of vectors. For example, दे सकते हो humidity में we can have skin rashes. Cold conditions में we can have respiratory issues. In heat and humid conditions में viral and bacterial, these are activated. And we have some examples that we mentioned. Mosquito, for example. Climate and seasons are also responsible for problems related to atmospheric composition, like dust, presence of pollen grains. Next, latitudes are related to sunlight variations and production of essential vitamins in the body. जैसे कि vitamin D. Are you aware of this? Yeah, vitamin D is produced when you are exposed to sunlight. So latitudes are related to sunlight variations and production of essential vitamins in the body, like vitamin D. Absence of vitamin D can again have problems related to skin, problems related to bones and joints. Yes, rickets, correct. बाद है latitudes related to radiations. जैसे कि आपका जो polar latitudes हैं, you've got a higher radiations which can cause skin cancer. So this is the content that we have to manage to write about how climate and climate change may be responsible for health problems and what are the human responses.